This is something for those times when you're feeling really heady, when you are just can't stop thinking about stuff, when maybe you're distracted by worries or fears or anxieties, thoughts popping up about that, or planning, or just your brain's gone bananas and there are random thoughts flying around from every which way, or you're just gnawing away at one thing, you can't stop, thoughts going round and round about it. Whatever version of those it is, you're always up in your head, there's kind of nothing below your neck, and it feels very hard to stay grounded or become grounded if you want to meditate, or simply just to feel a bit more there, a bit more down, rather than scattered and off somewhere. And it is about coming back to our elemental bodies with the elements, so we arriving through the elements. This is not the 6 element practice for those of you who are familiar with it. We're just focusing on the mahas, the 4 great elements of earth, water, fire and air, and we are simply being with those elements as they manifest in our own body at this moment in time. Just recognizing, feeling and appreciating the elements in our living elemental bodies. But before we do that, make sure that you are in as good as possible a sitting position, so broad earth base, good earth contact. Make sure that your legs therefore are wide apart however you're sitting, and pelvis at that tilt where the sitting bones are pointing straight down, and you can allow the spine to rise up as effortlessly as it can. Hands supported so that the weight of the arms is not pulling on your shoulders. Roll your shoulders back and down a bit to open up the chest. Take a big breath, feel the chest opening, and release and relax. And just check the head isn't tilted backwards or forwards. And then starting off with the earth element. We are very earthy beings. Everything that gives us substance, shape and form is the earth element in our bodies. It's everything that we can feel, that we can squeeze, that we can stroke, that we can touch at all. That is the earth element. The earth element is what enables touch. If we didn't have the earth element, not only would we not be able to have that sensation of touching ourselves and others, but we'd just be a kind of blob. We would have no real shape and form. So we can appreciate the earth element giving us this body that can sit upright in this way, with its legs and arms arranged in whatever way they are arranged. And what's keeping us upright mainly is the epitome of the earth element in our body, which is our skeleton, that firmest, most solid earthiness in us right now. We can all feel the weight of our torso meeting whatever we're sitting on through our sitting bones. That touch sensation there of earthy body meeting earthy form of your seat. So having a sense of the pelvis that the sitting bones are at the base of in this position, and the sacrum at the back, that flat bony area, and the spine coming up right from really low down, just about level with your sitting bones, coming all the way up through the sacrum and then forming separate vertebra, this kind of garland of bones coming up in its natural curves with your head balanced on the top. that round skull with the holes for the eyes, nose and mouth, and the jawbone. And the shoulder girdle, the shoulder blades at the back, collarbones at the front, and fitting into that, the top of this quite sturdy long bone of the upper arm, going down to the elbows, and then two slimmer long bones of the lower arms, and all the little bones of the wrist and hands and fingers and thumbs. And back down to the pelvis at the hip joint, coming out of there, two big sturdy long bones in the thighs. One each side. And then from the knee, a pair of slimline long bones in the the lower legs, and all the little bones involved in the ankles, the heel, the foot and the toes. This sturdy skeleton that enables us to sit upright and be strong. And all the rest of our fleshy body with its sinews, its flesh, its fat, its skin, its nails, its hair, its teeth, all of that is also earth element. It's everything with substance and form and shape, firmness. Just having a sense of all the earthiness in our body, different levels of softness and hardness, but this earthy, substantial, living being that you are. And the water elements, you will already have noticed that because you're alive and breathing, your body is moving slightly with each breath, and that is possible only because of the water element in our body, the fluid in the joints that enables them to move, the fluid in all of our tissues that enables the flesh to slide around, move around, enable movement. My nickname for water is the great enabler, because not only does it enable life, but it's what enables movement. If we didn't have water, we would just be a kind of dry old stick, immovable. So water is what gives us the freedom to move, allows the body to move with the breath, to sit, to stand, to walk, to run, to be really alive. And we're very watery beings. About 70% of our body is water. There's a lot of water in all of our tissues, even our bones. We think of bones as we see them outside the body after death, but in fact, inside the body, they're quite pliable. They're not dry. They also have water in them. So where can we feel our water element most easily? You can probably all feel the saliva in your mouth. Have a sense of the tears in your eyes that allow the eyeballs to move easily in the sockets, allow the eyelids to slide easily over the eyeballs when we blink. And may not be able to feel it so much, but we have urine, and of course we have blood that is taking liquid to every last most distant part of our body, and the lymph system is spreading water element everywhere as well. Blood, sweat and tears. Maybe you can have a sense of some sweat at the moment if it's quite hot. Otherwise, just appreciating this ease of movement that water gives us. Feeling the body just gently moving with each in and out breath. Feeling it in the eyes and mouth, and the sway backwards and forwards. And the fire element. Noticing what temperature you're feeling at the moment, so whether you are quite hot or a bit cold or anywhere in between, this is all the fire element, all the different temperatures. And probably you will notice that your center, maybe the center inside your body or the middle of your body, is warmer than the extremities, than your feet, hands and maybe knees. You notice feeling a bit cooler. This is just fire manifesting in its different levels. So just noticing what temperature you do feel at the moment. And maybe you can pay particular attention to the warmth around the heart center. Probably feels quite warm there. Not least because there's that heart pumping away in there, which is very much to do with fire energy, especially as it's pumping the blood around our body, which is taking warmth all around our body, right to the furthest reaches of our body, the tiniest capillaries. And appreciating that we have this amazing ability to maintain our temperature at a pretty much okay level, unless we're ill or we're in a really hot or really cold environment. The fire element works really well in us, all on its own. Don't have to do anything. It just does its job, keeps us comfortably warm, even if we're a bit nippy or a bit too hot most of the time. We can appreciate this warmth of fire in us. Especially whatever temperature we are right now, which will depend on where you are and how you are right now. And the air element. The air, of course, is the element we most obviously exchange with the outside world, constantly taking in, letting go. So just take a moment to notice how you are taking in air, feeling it come into the body, expand the lungs and chest. Make the belly rise and fall, and the shoulders slightly. And maybe you can get a sense of that refreshment that each new breath brings. Because of course it doesn't just stay in the lungs. It's taken by the blood to every furthest bit of the body. Again by the blood. Oxygen in the blood, aerating our whole body, and there's air everywhere in the body, but we notice it most obviously in the lungs and in the chest as we take another life-giving breath. taking a moment to see how the body feels as it receives each new breathful of air. Can you have a sense of it spreading through the body, refreshing you? And as we breathe in and out, we can notice how the air and our earthy body interact. This breathing body is earth and air working together. Enabled by water, energized by fire. This whole elemental system, breathing in and out, this lightest, most soft of elements, air, filling up, moving this substantial body, which we feel swaying slightly, that contact point of the base of the body against the firmness of whatever we're sitting on. Air moving earth, earth moving air. And all of this, earth, water, fire and air, manifesting in this particular elemental body, in this particular way, right here, right now. Just really see if you can feel how your earth element is arranged, eased by the water, allowing it to move. The temperature of your fire and its energy, and the air moving in and out. Being fully with your elements in this moment. And if this has brought you back to your living, breathing, elemental body enough for you to continue on to another sit of your choice, then you can do that. Or you can simply sit, just sitting for a while to see how you feel after doing this. Or you can move your elemental body and feel it getting up and walking away and moving into the rest of your day. So whether this is a beginning or an ending, the bell